I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to work because aren't we supposed to be frolicking around in the woods, gathering fruit and baking bread and f***ing each other? Why am I worried about my 401k? Why am I paying $407 a month in health insurance? Why is my car payment $588? Insurance for my car $212, and I've never been in an accident. Knock on wood. Like, I don't even want to get into my rent. Why? And I get that people are going to be like, well, just live somewhere cheaper. Okay, calm down. I don't want to kill myself, so I'm going to live somewhere I enjoy. But also, like, why did we set this up the way that it is? Why? Like, I just don't think I vibe with the majority of the way we've set things up as society is all I'm saying.
Huh? Okay. Let's acknowledge a few things. She said, aren't we supposed to be frolicking around, gathering fruit, baking bread, and fornicating? Now, that sounds great. Truly. That sounds great. Now, I don't know what Disney movie she watched before she made this clip. I don't know what Pixar film she sat in front of for 2 hours and 12 minutes before she uploaded this clip to TikTok. I don't know. In real life, in adult life, and in America, you have responsibilities and you have payments. Speaking of payments, let's go to Focus State University. Okay, now, she said her car payment is $588. $588 for her car payment. That's an expensive car payment. Also, she mentioned, so since she mentioned the numbers, we have no choice but to go to Focus University. So, $212 for her car insurance. She's already at $800 for the month. She's already at $800 for the month. Now, her car payment is $588. She has what is called a lien holder. Okay, when you make a car payment, you don't own the car. The car is owned by the bank. The bank is the lien holder. Now, the insurance is going to need to know who that lien holder is. Okay, because the fact that you have a lien holder will contribute to the cost of your insurance premium. Now, because you have a $588 car payment per month and a lien holder, that means you're going to have, you can't have liability insurance. You're going to have comprehensive. You're going to have collision. You're going to need to get divorced. So you're probably going to get rental coverage as well. Okay. So that is probably why your insurance cost is $212. Not only that, but in the underwriting process for insurance, okay, they determine your likelihood to pull from the pot. Okay? How likely is this driver to pull from the insurance pot? How likely is the insurance company going to have to pay on your behalf? And that is determined by credit. So your credit matters and your insurance premium per month. Okay? Those things matter in the underwriting process. Now, she also mentioned $400 a month for health insurance. Okay. $1,200. She's already at $1,200 a month. Okay? These are all costs that have to be considered. Listen, this is why she's saying she doesn't want to work anymore. This is why she is living in some fantasy where all we do is frolic around and pick berries off of vines and bake bread and fornicate all day. This is why. This is why she's saying that. This is why she doesn't want to work. This is why she's giving up on capitalism. This is why she is complaining about how things are set up. She wasn't complaining about it when it was free for her. Now that she's a working adult and has to pay, now, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. I tap out. This 401k, America paying bills thing, I don't want to do it. This is what she's saying. We'll let her finish.
I'm not vibing with it
Not vibing.
currently.
Not vibing.
So that's all.
She's not vibing with it anymore. She's not vibing. She's not vibing. And most people just are not vibing.
I'm a 24-year-old millionaire and I manifested $1 million. In fact, everything in my life by collapsing timelines. I do not believe it takes a certain amount of work or a certain amount of time to achieve a certain result. External reality is simply projecting your internal dialogue right back onto you, your internal belief of the value that you exert into this world. In dating, in love, in anything, it is not a certain set of actions that is going to get you what it is you want. It is literal concept you have of yourself that will collapse timeline.
Any thoughts on that?
This is why certain people explode online. This is why certain people become millionaires overnight. Not because they work harder than you. It is not because they are more talented. It is because they shifted their frequency and the universe had no choice but to match it in reality. I got rid of all of the noise of what things should look like, how long things should take, what I should be doing to achieve certain results, and I followed my intuition entirely. I achieved illogical growth because I took illogical action. You can become a millionaire by the end of 2025. You can be in your dream relationship by the end of this year. You can have your dream body in a few months. Are you willing to let your mind go there? And are you willing to shut out the noise and follow your intuition entirely and move in blind faith with that conviction?
Oh man. Okay. It's just yours.
It's what they want.
I'm literally sitting in the parking lot of
Okay, let's read the text. The text is important. Do I feed my kids, clean their clothes, or pay rent? Now, all of those things need to be done. Let's acknowledge that. All of those things need to be done. All of those things are mandatory. Okay? They're all mandatory. Okay, let's let her go.
Walmart. I've probably been sitting here about 20 minutes just thinking, debating, like,
There's no debate.
the little money that I have that I made from a clean yesterday. Do I go in here and get the things that I need so my children can have clean clothes, so they can have a little bit of food? And get those things, or pay on my rent so we don't get evicted?
You must have a roof.
Like, what do you do?
You
What
must
do you do?
have a roof.
I really don't know.
You must have a roof.
Do I send my clothes? Do I send my kids to school in dirty clothes?
Okay. Time out. I've been paying attention to the text in purple and white. Now, at first it said, I'm going to keep pushing, not going to give up. Then it jumped to, I give it all to the Lord. Most people don't acknowledge God and or his existence until their life has become a complete and utter mess.
Fact.
Most people do not acknowledge God or cry out to God until their life has become a complete and utter mess. Most people do not invite God into their life until after their life has become a complete and utter mess. After they've made a mess of their life, then they invite God. They don't invite God into their life or acknowledge God in the beginning, when they start making decisions, when they start choosing mates. But now that things have fallen apart, right? Rent's due, can't pay it. Now, give it all to the Lord.
Figure out how we're gonna eat or be homeless. I mean, they all suck. But you know what? I keep making these videos
Okay.
because I know in a few months I'll get to look back at these videos and look how far I've came. Maybe we won't be homeless in a few months. Maybe something will get figured out. I did have an interview
Okay.
a few days ago. I'm waiting to hear back from that.
Very good.
That job doesn't start until November 3rd, though, but I did apply. I talked to my child's resource center at his school, and I did apply for like a bus monitor in the time being. Maybe I can do that until that job starts. If I get that job, I hope and pray I do.
Hope.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Sitting in my car debating whether I go in and get the things that my children need. And they've already told me that if I don't pay 2 months rent, which is what I'm behind September and October, that I'll be evicted. They told me that yesterday. So I got an eviction notice yesterday.
This is not a fun position to be in. This is not a fun position to be in. I heard hope, maybe, pray, hope, maybe. Hope is not a strategy. And hope is not a strategy, especially in our current economic climate. Hope's not a strategy. Not in this economic climate. You need a plan to win. A plan of action. Not hoping, wishing on a star, treating God like a genie or Santa Claus. That's not it. That's not it. You never want to be in a position to where you're deciding whether you pay rent or feed your children. That's not like you there are decisions that you have to make and work that has to be put in so that you do not end up there. Decision making is a skill. Like, I will always believe that decision making truly is a skill. How you make a certain decision, when you make a certain decision. In my mind, I see life as a chessboard. I see life as a chessboard. And people need to think about how the decisions that they make now will affect them 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4, 10. That's how people need to think. If I move my pawn here, if I move my rook there, if I move my knight up here, how's that going to affect where I end up on the chessboard? How is that going to affect where I end up? If I move the bishop here, okay, I understand how every piece moves, okay? I understand the bishop. Okay, the bishops move diagonally. Okay, the knight, 1, 2, and then, okay, I understand the pawns move space here. Okay, I understand the queen moves all across. Okay, the king moves one spot at a time. Like, understanding how to make decisions, how to make this decision, when to make this decision. Like, decision making is a skill, an overlooked skill, and it is a skill that people need to develop, and it is a skill that will save your life and make you a winner in this capitalism game. It will turn you into a winner. But people rely on hope, not a winning strategy.
That's all, folks.